Hi, welcome to lesson 23, session 3. This is our refine session. This is when we take everything we've learned about about dividing with unit fractions, and we show everything that we've learned over the last few days. We're going to be working in our Ready Classroom math workbook on pages 467 and 468. It's not that long of a lesson today. Remember, today is not the day where I teach you anything new. It's just where I go through each of the questions and kind of go over what it is that you should be doing. And then you're going to work through it at your own pace. As always, if you have any questions, you can always email your teacher and get the help on those questions that you don't know how to do. And with that, let's go ahead and go to page 467 in your Ready Classroom math workbook. Now, I'm really zoomed in on this one. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm going to go up to question number 1. So it says this: complete these problems on your own. Number 1, compare. Draw a model to represent 1/4 divided by 4 and a model to represent 1/4 times 1/4. Explain the relationship between the two expressions. I went ahead and decided to help you get on your way. So I gave you this model here is going to show what 1/4, this is going to be here 1/4 times 1/4. So I want you to go ahead and you're going to need to finish it. I've only done the rows for you. I need you to do your columns. And then you're going to figure out what the overlap is and maybe solve this equation to see what 1/4 times 1/4 is. Then I've drawn this number line for you here. And I've actually drawn it all the way out. I even put in these extra little tick marks that should hopefully help you. So it goes from 0 to 1. And then I have all these extra tick marks because it's 1/4. So here's your 1/4, but it's divided into groups of 4. So if we took this 1/4 and divided it into 1, 2, 3, 4 groups, we want to know just how much this one section is just right here. So right here, we're really only talking about, in this case, that section there. So if I wanted to know what is 1/4 divided by 4, it's going to, we know that whenever we take a fraction and divide it by a whole number, that we're a unit fraction, we're going to get an even smaller fraction as our answer or our quotient. So what is this fraction here? We know it's 1 over something. And so the key is, how many parts are there from 0 to 1 in the whole? And so hopefully, and then I want you to explain the relationship between the two expressions. So what says, you could just say, like, do they give you the same product? Is the product the same as the quotient? Do they both show the same amount? Something about that, okay? Number 2, Mary has 12 boards. She cuts each board into pieces that are each 1/3 of a board long. Helena tells Mary that 12 divided by 1/3 is 4. Draw a model and use words to explain why Helena's statement is not reasonable. Now I went ahead again and helped you out. I drew Mary's 12 boards, one board up to 12 boards. So here are 12 boards. Now, Mary cuts each board into pieces that are 1/3 of a board long. So she's going to cut each of these boards into 1/3 pieces. So first of all, if I were you, I'd figure out how many of those 1/3 board pieces will fit into one board. And then you're going to count however many fits in one board times however many boards you have. Now, I promise you the answer is not 12. So I want you to tell me what the real answer is and why Helena is wrong. Now, number 3 says this: show that 1/2 divided by 3 equals 1/6 by using a model. Explain why the quotient is less than the number you started with, 1/2. So I've drawn 1/2 for you. You're going to divide it into this many sections. So you got to divide it into that many sections, and then you're going to show me what is the value of just one of those sections. And we know that the answer is going to be 1/6. So make sure that you only have one section of the shaded in. Then tell me why you know that the quotient or the answer, why do you know, even if you didn't do the problem, why do you know that this fraction here is less than this fraction here? Number 4. Choose one of the following problems to solve. Circle the problem you choose. So there's 2 different problems. I'm going to go through each problem. You're only going to solve one of them. You're going to draw a model that shows you what one of these pictures represents. And then you're going to write a division equation and a multiplication equation that tell me the answer. So the first choice, so you have 2 choices. There's option 1 or option 2. Option 1 is Drew wants to run at least 6 miles this month. He plans to run 1/4 mile each day. How many days will it take Drew to run 6 miles? So we have these 6 miles, and we're breaking those 6 miles and dividing them up into 1/4 of a mile on each day. So that is the first choice. And we want to know how many days will it take him to run 6 miles. The second choice is this. Maya made a 1/2 quart of strawberry jam. She plans to share it equally among 4 friends. How much jam will each friend get? So she has a 1/2 quart of jam, and she's going to divide it up between 4 of her friends. How much will each of her friends get? So one of these, I'm not going to tell you which, one of these you're starting with a whole number and divided by a fraction, and then the other one you're starting with a fraction and dividing by a whole. You're going to choose either option 1 or 2 to solve. It doesn't matter. You can pick your favorite. You're going to show a picture, and then you're going to do a division sentence and a division equation and a multiplication equation. Finally, for number 5, it says this. Find 2 divided by 1/3. Write a word problem and use a visual model to show the problem. If I were you, I'd go ahead and draw your picture first and show me what 2 divided by 1/3 is, and then what the quotient is. And then I want you to write a word problem about having 2 of something and dividing it up into pieces that are a third in length or a third in size. And with that, you're going to go ahead and work on these on your own. It is short today, but there's definitely some really important questions. So if you have any questions or if there's anything you're stuck on, please feel free to email your teacher. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.